Magandang umaga! Today I'm going to do round 2 of Ask Teacher Kaye. I did this a few months ago where I responded to some of the questions of some of the people from the community or requests for more information about a topic kasi feeling ko na yung mga answers nito baka maka-benefit din naman sa iba, baka nagtataka din kayo about the same thing pero nahihiya kayong magtanong. So tara, usap tayo. Let's get talking! Hi! If you're new here, I'm Teacher Kaye and I'm a certified speech-language pathologist. So like I said, I'm going to be answering questions. So babasahin ko po sila and then magre-respond ako. This first one says, Hello Teacher Kaye, pag po ba may tongue-tie ang bata, nakakaapekto din ba ito sa pagsasalita? Thanks po. So to start answering that question, ano muna yung tongue-tie? Ang medical term po namin dito ay ankyloglossia. Ang ibig sabihin po nito na ang frenulum po natin, ituturo ko po sa inyo ng frenulum, sana walang mandiri sa loob ng aking bibig. Nakikita po ito sa ilalim ng iyong dila. So when you lift your tongue, you see that tissue under your tongue connecting it to the floor of your mouth. Yun po ang inyong frenulum. Now, kapag sinabing tongue-tied ka or meron kang ankyloglossia, ang ibig sabihin po nito ay pinanganak kang maikli yung frenulum mo, parang tinatali niya yung dila mo doon sa base ng bibig mo. Kaya hindi masyadong makagalaw yung dila mo where it should be able to go for both feeding and for speaking. So, ang tanong mo, nakakaapekto po ba sa speech? Yes. Okay, so but there's a difference. Hindi po niya mapipigilan ang pag-learn ng language kung paano magsalita. Pero yung pagka-tongue-tied po, kung hindi po siya nag-resolve on its own by 2 to 3 years old, magkakaroon po ng kahirapan bumigkas ng ibang sounds yung bata. So, baka alam niya yung salita na gusto niyang sabihin pero kapag sinabi niya, hindi po ito magiging klaro. Ang maaapektuhan po nito ay ating mga lingual sounds, yung mga sounds na gumagamit ng dila. So usually mga lingua dentals like D and T or yung S or yung Z kasi somewhat aakyat ng konti yung position ng tongue natin when we make these sounds. Also the L and the R, where yung tongue natin ay kailangan pumunta sa likod, pero kung nakatali siya, di siya makakagalaw. This is a condition that you are born with. It is congenital. So kung pinanganak ka ng ganito, sometimes as early as babies sila, infants, malalaman nyo kung medyo may problema kapag nahihirapan sa pag-latch. Some of the things na mapapansin ng ibang mga parents ay parang ang tagal-tagal naman niyang mag-feed. Kasi ngayon pala, hindi siya nakakakuha ng enough suction with the tongue kasi hindi niya magalaw ng maayos. Kaya nahihirapan siyang kumuha ng milk and natatagalan siya bago siya mabusog. Sometimes they even complain about a clicking sound during breastfeeding and that's because of improper suckling. Because the tongue cannot move very well. So, ano po ang intervention for ankyloglossia or tongue-tied? So, ang una nyo pong kailangan gawin is pumunta po kayo sa doktor, magpatingin kung nanonotice nyo po na merong kahirapan sa pag-breastfeed pa lang. So, that's very important because your children's nutrition is super important for good development of the brain and the body. For speech or sa pagsasalita, magpa-assess po sa speech-language pathologist tulad ko. Pero ang mas mainam pong gawin is someone that can see your child face-to-face kasi kailangan pong i-assess yung anatomy. So, kailangan pong makita namin yung movement na nagagawa o hindi nagagawa nung dila ng bata. Para makita namin if magkaka-impact ba talaga ito sa kanilang speech or baka negligible naman. Pero kung sa tingin nyo, malala, like masyado talagang maikli yung frenulum or masyadong makapal, again, pumunta sa doktor, magpa-advise kung kailangan itong gupitin. There is a procedure called a frenectomy or a frenulectomy where ginugupit po yung frenulum para medyo ma-free ng konti yung movement ng tongue. This is a very short procedure. I hear that it can go for 30 minutes. Sometimes there are even laser options, I think, for younger children. But please consult your doctor. They will know more of the details. When you've done that and you feel like, okay, meron nang naging bad habits yung anak ko because nag-compensate siya for the movement of the tongue, then you can go to a speech therapist for some quick articulation intervention. Articulation is yung pagbigkas nila. Okay, this next one is, hello po, Teacher Kaye. Ask ko po kung namamana ba yung delay ng speech. Kasi ako po 3 years old na nung nakapagsalita, pero konti pa lang din daw ang nababanggit. Thanks and God bless. Let's say, idiosyncratic, as in hindi natin alam kung saan nanggagaling yung speech delay, na ipapasa rin ba yon? There have been no studies about that, but marami nga akong mga kliyente na nagsasabi na, yung tito po niya kasi 6 years old na rin nakapagsalita. And this particular one said, 3 years old na siya bago siya nakapagsalita. We do see that there is a hereditary component na namamana ang pagka-delay ng speech. But moving forward, what do we always want to know anyway? How are we going to intervene? Anong gagawin natin when we already see that there's a speech delay? Do we not do anything because iisipin natin, 6 years old pa rin naman yung tito niya bago nakapagsalita? Or do we do something about it now? So like I always repeat, early intervention is the key. Early intervention is the best solution for speech delay. So kung ano man yan, naman naman o hindi, let's do something about it. The next one is medyo related to the previous one. Sabi nito, namamana po ba ang sakit na autism? Unang-una, like I said in my episode about autism, please go back to it for more information. Autism, hindi po siya sakit. And in that sense, wala rin po siyang cure. Wala pong gamot para sa autism. We only try to make the symptoms better. But next, the question is, namamana ba ang autism? And the answer is, yes, may nakikita silang studies that show that there is a genetic component to autism. Actually, there was a huge study of 2 million people from 5 countries, and what they found was that autism was caused 80% by genetic factors and 20% by environmental factors. So yes, that is why it is common to hear that autism runs in the family. Kasi they also had the very first study about twins, and they saw that if one twin had it, it was also more likely that the other twin also has it. So if you do have autism in the family, it is only wiser to, I guess, not naman be more paranoid, but be more observant of what the symptoms are and the characteristics to watch out for your kids. Because, again, like I said, the earlier you know, the better for the future. Also about autism, this next one says, Teacher Kaye, I also hope you can share information about ASD in girls. I've read that most cases of ASD in girls are diagnosed later than boys are. Do girls develop autism later? That's why they are diagnosed later? But no, the finding is they are diagnosed a little bit later because yung naging very stereotyped characteristics of autism, as in repetitive behavior or rigidity, are actually more descriptive of the symptoms for boys. So minsan, hindi agad nakikita yung autism in girls because studies have shown that sometimes girls tend to adapt better or mask their characteristics better than the boys do. So other factors that come into play here are that the statistic itself, there are 4 times more boys with autism than there are girls. So knowing that, there's more information about boys with autism than there are for girls. Girls are also less frequently referred for diagnosis for autism. And since so far there are less girls that are diagnosed with autism, they're also excluded from research. Or sometimes girls are diagnosed with other things like intellectual disability or anxiety. So for clinicians like myself, that's also a wake-up call to have better diagnostic process for girls. And this last one for today is super weird kasi nakita ko siyang kinoment on my YouTube notifications. But when I try to open it, wala siya. It's invisible. So up to today, I have never read the entire comment. I've only seen the snippet that appears in my notifications. I don't know if YouTube automatically filters my comments. So I am so sorry if may mga nag-comment na hindi ko na-respondahan. Hindi ko po sila talaga nakita. And because I was unable to see the comment, I was unable to respond to that comment. But because from what I saw of the snippet, it was something important that I really wanted to respond to. Hinanap ko talaga yung name ng commenter sa Facebook at respondan ko with my personal account. So this is what it read. It says, "Hi, Teacher Kaye. I am a mother of 2 and my children are already vaccinated except for MMR, that's measles, mumps, and rubella. Because of the mercury content, according sa family doctor namin who did not advise us to have it. Recent ... I will never know what the end of that message said, but let me respond to that. Unang-una, bakit? Bakit may ganun pa rin pong doktor? Hindi ko po maintindihan because according to the research that I've read, plus even a statement that stays on the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So what it says is that the MMR does not and never did contain mercury or that thimerosal, which is that mercury-containing component that some other vaccines had. So I don't know why that doctor would say that the MMR has mercury content. As in, I don't get it. The MMR is mercury-free, and even then, studies showed, and I talked about this in my vaccine episode, that even the thimerosal that was in the previous vaccines, it turned out to be harmless. It had no impact on people's health. So, please get your children vaccinated. Sobrang mainit po talaga ang usapan ng vaccine. So I want to clarify, guys, always check your news. Wala pa pong namamatay sa vaccines for COVID-19. Wala pa po ni isang namatay. Yes, there have been some side effects. Some of them have been severe. Pero ni isa, wala pa pong namatay from any vaccine of COVID-19 that has been administered. So guys, pabakuna po tayo when it is out there. And take care and be safe. And that's all I have for today. If you guys have any more questions, I've been thinking, would you guys like to have a live Q&A session with me? I just want to explain myself if sometimes I take too long to respond to some of the comments or messages on Facebook or on YouTube. And it's really just because ang dami nyo lang po talagang kausap ko, but I really try to read everything and respond. But try to imagine this. So, of course, we're going to talk about your kids when you message me. So, minsan mahaba na yung kwentuhan about the child and I say something, but hindi agad makaka-respond yung parents. So, maybe mamaya ko na ulit yun mababalikan, right? Kasi alangan namang hintayin ko yun bago siya sumagot. So, by the time mabalikan ko siya, iba-backread ko po ulit yun. Kasi syempre, ayoko siyang mahalo dun sa ibang children na napag-usapan ko with other people. So, I'm always going through that process to make sure that I give you the best impression and the best advice. But let me know if you guys would like a live Q&A session with me. Comment below if you will attend it, if I make one available live on YouTube or on Facebook. Tell me what your best times would be, like on a weekend, on an afternoon, on late night. So I would love to do that for you. And just for now, know that you can still leave comments and leave me messages, and I really do try my best to get back to them on my Facebook and Instagram at Teacher Kaye Talks. And if you found this helpful, please share it. You never know, you might be the guardian angel who will send it to someone else na hindi mo alam may kailangan din pala nitong information na to. And that's all for today. Happy talking.